Awesome. That's great. I hope everyone is having a great day, and it's so exciting to see so many people on the webinar today. Thank you for showing up and giving your valuable time to this session today. I appreciate it. So today we're going to talk about how you can beat your competitors by optimizing your online search listings. And primarily we're going to talk about Google My Business. And we're also going to talk about different strategies you can use with other online business directory listings. So we're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to talk a little bit about myself. I'll give you a little bit about my background because I think it's important to know a little bit about me and where I've come from. We're going to talk about SEO, search engine optimization, and why it's important for your business in general. We're also going to talk about Google My Business. And SCORE actually has a partnership with Google, and several SCORE chapters, actually probably SCORE chapters in your local area, may be running Google My Business workshops. So be sure and check with your local chapter and see if they're offering any Google My Business webinars or workshops in your local area. If you haven't claimed your Google My Business listing already, that's the first place to start. We're going to talk a little bit about that today, but we're not going to cover that in very much detail. So hopefully you've already claimed your Google My Business listing. But if you haven't, this webinar is going to be perfect for you because once you claim and verify your listing, the strategies that you're going to learn today are going to help you optimize that listing and help you boost your rankings, hopefully, so that you can beat your competition. So we're also going to talk about the different strategies that Google gives you to help you optimize your Google My Business listing. And we're particularly going to talk about why it's important to take advantage of those strategies that Google is giving you. Additionally, we're going to talk about other online business directories that you should look for, claim, make sure the information is correct, and why they're so crucial to your search engine optimization strategies. And then I'm going to also make an offer where you can check your business's online directory health and your digital marketing, strategies in general. For instance, do you have online reviews posted about your business? How are you listed on the top online directories and those types of things? So we're going to talk a lot about local SEO for Google My Business and other online directories. So hopefully that sounds good to everybody, and we can move forward. So just a little bit about myself. I have been a digital marketer for 20 years now. I launched an e-commerce business in 1998 where I sold pregnancy and baby-related products, and I had a great time doing it for probably about 15 years. And then I got into helping local businesses with their digital marketing strategies. I'm also a public speaker, and I'm also an award-winning writer. My specialties include search engine optimization, reputation marketing, content marketing, social media, video marketing, pretty much anything digital marketing our agency can help clients with. As Alexa mentioned, I am also a SCORE mentor for the East Central Iowa chapter here in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. So if anybody is in the Iowa area and needs a SCORE mentor, reach out to our chapter. One of the great things that I get to do is I get to write for some of the top search engine optimization and digital marketing websites. And here are just a few of the websites that I write for. So if you go to these websites and search for my name, you will find a ton of articles that I've written about search engine optimization, content marketing, different digital marketing strategies. So I would encourage you to go ahead and do some research and read some of my blog posts, because you're going to get a lot of more information about different strategies that you can utilize in your business. Additionally, I was recently awarded Search Engine Land's 2018 Top SEO Contributor of the Year. So I was very excited to receive that award. And a small business that I have been working with is also an award-winning client. And so I'm very excited to help local businesses achieve their digital marketing goals and help them grow their business. So today we're going to talk about search engine optimization. And basically, in order for you to rank on search engines, you have to use strategies both on your site and off of your site. And search engine optimization is basically strategies that you use to help Google recognize what your website is about, what the content on your site is about, and helps you rank higher on the search engines. Now, SEO is a topic in and of itself, and there are a ton of resources out there. SearchEngineLand.com, Moz.com, Search Engine Journal. Those are some of the great resources where you can go. If you don't know a lot about the basics of search engine optimization, I would encourage you to do research there. But basically, search engine optimization surrounds the content on your site, different code that you have on your site to help you rank higher, okay? And the reason why that's important is because you have to be found where your customers are at. And most of them do a lot of their research before they even step foot into your place of business. So you have to be found where your customers are at, and most of them these days are looking on their mobile phones. And that's why it's very important to connect with those customers when they are searching. So 87% of smartphone owners turn to search first when they are in the moment of need. So if for some reason they have a broken pipe at their house and they need a plumber, they're going to turn to their smartphone to do a search. And 30% of all mobile searches are related to a location. And so that's why it's very important, if you own a local business, that you are able to be found on Google and the other search engines for local search related. So there's a lot of people out there that have probably purchased large items or items in general and have probably done research online before they've even stepped foot into a store. And your customers are doing the exact same thing. And that's how a lot of purchases get started. And so it's very, very important that you utilize a lot of these strategies that we're going to talk about today. So you want to connect with Google, and Google is making it very, very easy for small businesses to actually get found on their search engines. And one of the ways that they're doing that is by allowing businesses that qualify to claim their Google My Business listing. So again, search engine optimization are strategies that you can use on your site or off of your site to help you rank higher on the search engines for keywords that you're trying to rank for. Now, keywords would be how to find or how to fix a leaky pipe, or what should I look for when I'm trying to hire an attorney. Those are things that real-world people are searching for when they're looking for a local business. And the content on your site needs to address the issues that people are searching for, and that's where keywords come into play. Now, how Google is helping you is they're allowing you to claim your Google My Business listing, which provides visitors that are doing a search for local businesses with really valuable information about your local business. So you've probably done a search online for a local business, like let's say a restaurant or a car repair location, or maybe you're looking to buy a car or an HVAC if you need an air conditioner. And you've probably seen this local 3-pack. And it shows up generally right under the ads. At the top, you'll see the ads, and then below that, oftentimes you'll see a map, and then you'll see 3 business listings, and then you'll see a link to more places. To compete locally, you really want to try and get in that Google Local 3-pack, or at least be shown in the More Places section. One of the ways that you can show up and increases the likelihood of showing up in that 3-pack is your Google My Business listing. And that's why it's so crucial that everybody claims this free listing. Now, a lot of the industry, the search engine optimization industry, does research to find out what does Google look at to find out how they should rank a business or a website. Now, the challenging thing is Google doesn't want us to know how their algorithms work. And so what we do is we as an industry take a look at what's working based on a variety of testing methods. And what I've done on these next slides is kind of highlighted the local signals, and a lot of them relate back to Google My Business listings. So as you can see here, My Business Signals. Again, this relates directly to Google My Business. Citation signals. These directly relate to the online business directories that we're going to be talking about. Online reviews. That's ranked 5th most important. Behavioral signals. These include click-through rates. So that means that engagement is important. So if you have someone who is looking at your Google My Business listing and they click to call you, Google is tracking all of that information, all of that engagement. And anytime you get engagement from your Google My Business listing, Google's tracking that, and that can help improve your rankings, okay? So all of these signals are related to search and local rankings, okay? So as you can see, selecting the proper Google My Business category is very important. It's ranked number 3. Quality of inbound links, and those relate directly to the online directories that we're going to talk about. Consistency of citations, the online directories. So we're going to talk about why it's important that your name, address, and phone number is consistent. Keywords, all of those types of things are important. And as Alexa mentioned, you guys are going to get access to this replay, so don't freak out about taking screenshots of all this. You'll be provided with all this later. But these are all qualities that go into how your site ranks, okay? A lot of you, when you're doing a search online or when you're looking up a question or trying to find a local business, you've probably done a near me search, restaurants near me, auto repair stores near me. These near me searches are really great opportunities for you because what you're trying to do is solve a problem that a customer or a potential customer has. And so this slide is really meant to represent sort of the buyer's journey or the local buyer's journey that people are taking nowadays because the customer journey has now changed. Most people don't call your business directly. What they do first is research, and they research you and your competitors. So you want to beat your competitors, and you want to be there. And so Google really is trying to help businesses to lead people from the moment they're looking to the moment that they want to click or call or buy from you. So Google My Business listing. To rank locally, you really have to claim your Google My Business listing. Now, there are a few qualifiers in order to claim your Google My Business listing. First of all, you cannot be an online-only business. So if you have an online-only website, so let's say you don't have a physical location, you're an e-commerce only business, you cannot claim your Google My Business listing. That's just the way it is. Google My Business is meant for physical locations that service businesses or service clients or customers either out of their physical location or those business owners go to the consumer or the customer's place of business. So landscapers, even if they don't have a place of business where customers can go to, they go out to their customers. So they would qualify to claim a Google My Business listing. And if you have any questions, you can do a search for Google My Business qualifications, and you'll be able to see the guidelines to ensure that your business meets those guidelines in order to claim your Google My Business listing. So if you're not sure whether or not you have your Google My Business listing claimed, the best place to go is gybo.com/business. And over to the right hand, you'll see what is listed as Stacia's Bakery. That's the business listing. And that's also known in the SEO world as a knowledge panel. That is where the majority of detailed information about your business is going to appear. So if someone does a search for your business, they're going to see that knowledge panel, and that's going to show your business's hours, the business description, detailed information about what type of credit cards you accept, photos that you may be uploading, all of that great stuff that we're going to talk about in a couple of minutes. So to claim your Google My Business listing, if you haven't already, you can go to google.com/business or gybo.com/business. And this is really the most important step that any local business can take to improve their local SEO strategy. You must claim and verify your local business on Google My Business, because what this is going to do is it's going to allow you to be seen not only on Google search results, but it's also going to allow you to be seen on Google Maps, okay? So once you enter your information on the GYBO website, you're going to enter your business name, and it's going to show you whether or not your information is correct or complete. So it's going to show you whether or not your information is updated, whether or not you need to verify your information, or if you're a new business or Google has not yet indexed you for some reason, you can create a brand new listing, okay? And again, there's lots of resources out there on how to claim your Google My Business listing, and so I would encourage you to just go through that process. It's very easy. Google walks you through the steps if you go to the Google My Business, the gybo.com/business. It will walk you through the steps on how to claim it. So it's very important that you do that. So we're going to get into optimizing your Google My Business listing. I think one of the biggest, and by the way, Google My Business listing is free, by the way, so there's no cost to you. And so what better way to get an advantage than to get one of the biggest search engine to give you a free listing. This is like an opportunity that a lot of businesses aren't taking advantage of, that now you guys are going to have an edge over, okay? But to compete and beat your competition, you have to optimize your Google My Business listing on a regular basis, and that's what we're going to be talking about. So claiming it is just really the first step in getting online. So if you look at this slide right here, over to the left, you'll see an optimized listing versus an unoptimized listing. An unoptimized listing or an unclaimed listing shows a default map. It shows a message that says, does someone own this business, ? That only shows up if the business is unclaimed. So in all likelihood, if you have an established local business, Google already has you in their database. You just haven't claimed and verified your listing yet. So if you go online and do a search for your business, and that's your business, and you see that own this business ? You can click on that, and you can go ahead and start that verification process. It will also give you information that says add missing information. So you can add your website or business hours, and this is actually what people see on an unoptimized listing if they do a search for Downtown Dental Group. And that looks really, really kind of embarrassing for the business owner, because there's really no information that's very helpful for that business to convince the consumer that they should shop there. On the other hand, if you look over to the left, you'll see what an optimized listing looks like. You can see that the business owner has uploaded their logo. They have uploaded photos of the outside of the building, thanks to probably Google Maps. They have uploaded other photos. They have a very detailed map. They have great reviews, so you can tell that they've been asking their customers to leave reviews for them. So you can see that they have 59 4.9-star reviews on Google, which is fantastic. You can see that they've selected a category as cosmetic dentist, and that category, we're going to talk about that in a little bit. You can also see that claimed listings have a complete NAP, and that stands for name, address, and phone number. And that means that that information has been verified by Google. One thing I want to point out is you'll notice that the suite number starts with a pound sign. A lot of people will put suite 302 or STE 302. Google's format is a pound sign. And so what I recommend always is go with what Google has, and then on all the other online directories that you're going to be claiming or verifying the information, use the pound sign for your suite number. I know a lot of people get, hey, I want to feel glamorous by saying that I have a suite. Use the pound sign for consistency's sake. Google's the authority, so what I recommend is, however Google has your address, go ahead and use that on all the other online directories, and we're going to be talking about that in a little bit. Now, the other thing you want to notice is that it has the hours next to it. The hours are very, very important that you fill out the hours of operation. And the reason being, it will show a consumer whether or not your business is closing soon or whether or not it's closed on Sunday, for instance. So if you don't fill out these hours properly, what's going to happen is a consumer could possibly drive all the way to your store only to find out that it's closed when really they think it's open. And who do you think they're going to blame? Are they going to blame Google for that, or are they going to blame your business? Chances are they're going to blame your business for that. And so this is, again, a reason why claiming and optimizing and double-checking and logging in frequently to your Google My Business or your GMB dashboard is so incredibly crucial to make sure that you're verifying everything correctly. You'll also see that in this listing, they've created a post, and we're going to talk in great detail about posts as well. So this is amazing detail that Google has provided. Up-to-date listings are 2.7 times more likely to be considered reputable. 70% are more likely to attract location visits, meaning 70% more people are more likely to visit your location if your information is up to date on Google My Business. And 50% people are more likely to be led to a purchase if you have up-to-date Google My Business information. Okay? So to make the most out of your Google My Business listing, you want to make sure that you complete your business information, add special hours, especially if you have any holiday hours. So for instance, if on July 4th you're going to be closed, be sure and log in and change those hours on that particular day. Be sure and add photos and videos. If you have a really cool space or a really cool location, consider doing a virtual tour. Google has trusted photographers that you can hire, or you can buy like a Samsung 360 camera and do it yourself and upload it yourself. So there's lots of options that Google gives you to enhance your listings. And regularly adding those types of features creates engagements with people that find your listing, and that in turn tells Google that people are engaging with your listing, and that can improve your rankings. So really, Google My Business allows customers or potential customers and you to engage. So you can share updates with potential customers or customers through posts. You can actually now communicate with messaging, and you can read and respond to reviews. And truly, this is just the tip of the iceberg of all the cool things you can do with Google My Business. So we're going to get started. So first thing you want to do is answer all of the questions that are asked when you're claiming your business. So Google asks you a bunch of questions, and one of them is, your hours of operation, when you were established. It's going to ask for a business description, so be sure and include a business description. Now, keep in mind that you're limited to the number of characters that appear on screen. Especially on a mobile device, a lot of those characters will get cut off. And so you want to make sure that you put the most important information always towards the front. So if you're making a post, for instance, make sure that the most important information that you want consumers to see is right towards the beginning of the sentence or right in front of the paragraph. And the same thing about your business description. Make sure that you have your business description, all keywords up towards the as close as you can towards the beginning of the description. Now, the other thing that people don't really understand, and many people don't get, is that anyone can suggest an edit to your listing, okay? And that means that your data is at risk at all times. And that means that anyone can suggest a change or edit your business listing. And that includes your competitors. If they wanted to really come out and get you, they could go in and literally change your address. So oftentimes these aren't just suggested edits. these user-generated changes can actually be made live on your listing without you being notified before those changes take effect. And so it's very important that once you claim and verify your Google My Business listing, that you log into your dashboard regularly to ensure that no one has made any unwanted changes to your listing, because that can really be detrimental. So Google is supposed to be sending out information and emails letting you know when a change has been made to your listing. But what we found is that there's been reports that people are not receiving those notifications, or if you have more than one person listed as a manager on your Google My Business listing, not all of those people are receiving those notifications. So that's why it's very important to log into your dashboard and double check to make sure that information is always correct. And we're going to talk about a little bit later about what you can do if you find misinformation on your dashboard. Okay? So Google encourages users to contribute to your listing. Now, a lot of businesses don't like that. They cry foul and say, you know, competitors or others with malicious intent can really wreak havoc on their Google My Business listing with this user-generated content. However, Google's philosophy is that this type of user-generated content helps to build a community, more fully completes a business's profile. It also allows Google to experiment with different search strategies and features. So if you've ever been to a business, Google will encourage you to maybe answer a question. So you'll see this box that says, know this place, answer a quick question. And then you'll be asked a question. Like, for instance, in this case, for Casey's General Store, I was asked, does this place serve beer? And I could say yes or no. Some cases it may say, do they accept reservations if it's a restaurant? And so what Google is doing is gathering data about the business in addition to what the owner is providing, okay? And all that information goes into Google's database about your business so that they can better serve up the best results for people that are doing searches. So besides adding a business description, one of the next most important things to do is to select the correct category for your business. So it's important that you select at least 2 categories. Now, oftentimes what people will do is they will select a general category. But your first category, your main category, should be very specific versus general. So, for instance, if you're an attorney and you specialize in family law, you shouldn't select lawyer as your first category. Your first category should be family lawyer, and then your second category should be lawyer. So what you can do is, after time, if you find that you're not ranking where you want to rank in the Google Local 3-Pack versus your competitors, you can try changing out your main category to see if that improves your rankings. And that can, involve some testing. So, for instance, if you find that everybody ranking high has a certain, category selected, you may want to change your main category to be that category and see if that improves your ranking. Now, one thing that Google is starting to test out is showing different categories depending on what the person is searching for. And this is kind of a new thing. It's something Google tests. Google is always testing different things. So you will see that Rusty Brick has selected 3 different categories. And depending on what the search queries were, which keywords the consumer entered into Google, Rusty Brick showed up as a software company category, as a website designer category, and an internet marketing service category. So this is really interesting. So what I recommend is that you pick at least 2 categories, but no more than 3 categories. Because if you select more than 3 categories, what's going to happen is it kind of dilutes your specialty. And then Google really doesn't have a firm idea of exactly what you do. So don't select more than 3 categories because it's really going to dilute the value of your business type. And Google's going to have a difficult time determining what type of business you truly, truly have. So those are just some tips with regard to that. And just know that Google is always testing, and you should be testing too. So again, if you're finding that a competitor is beating you and showing up in the local 3-pack and you're not, see what they're doing and try doing the same thing. On the other hand, if all of them are doing, all of them have the same category, pick a different category that is relevant and see if that helps you, okay? It can involve a little bit of experimentation, but it's definitely going to be worth it, all right? So the next thing that Google allows you to do is create posts. Now, posts are almost like mini social media posts. Now, basically the difference is they're not based on like hashtags, for instance. You don't want to use hashtags in your Google post. Google posts are really meant to show a very compelling image and something about your business. So, and they show up directly on your Google My Business Knowledge panel. So when someone does a search for Wired Production Group, and I would encourage you to maybe do a search for a business after the session, over on the right-hand side, when you search for a business that has optimized their listing, hopefully you will see a little box with an image, and you can see that there's a certain amount of characters that actually appear, and then there's a Learn More button. You can control the call to action that appears. So there are different types of posts that you can create. You can create a What's New post, event post, offers, or information about products. Now, what's great about this is if you have an event, let's say you are running a conference, and you want the conferences from July 15th through the 14th. You can create an event post, add the dates of the conference, add a description of the conference, and an image. And then that post will stay live during that course of the event. And the last day of the event, that post will go dark. We call it kind of going dark. It will basically turn off. Offers are the same way. You can create an offer. And so you can see on the screen here where this particular business selected to take 10% off anything in the entire store during a certain period of time. And the customers can actually bring in their smartphone, show this code at the store, and redeem it online. So if you think of Groupon, Google's actually trying to help you, but not taking any of your profits from you. So it's really a cool way to promote products that you have, events that you're running. So let's say you have a chiropractor's office. You may be running a session on the benefits of chiropractic, those types of things. And so there's great things you can do with posts. Now, posts stay live for about 7 days or until after the event is over. So you want to make sure that you're continually adding and topping off your posts because they do expire. You have up to 1,500 characters, but keep in mind that the ideal length is between 150 to 300 characters. And I've seen a lot of people use hashtags in their posts. Don't do it. Hashtags contribute nothing to searchability at all, and so you're wasting characters if you do that. So don't use hashtags in your post. So to get started with posts, you need to log into your Google My Business dashboard. You'll see the post option there on the left-hand side, and you can create events. If you have sales going on, if you have a blog post, you can link directly to that blog post. If you want to just spread holiday joy and maybe create a Christmas message, you can do that. One big tip is to remember to include a call to action. Google recently allowed for a call now option, so you can include your phone number and people can click on that and they can call you directly from your Google My Business listing. So that's pretty darn cool. Adding videos and pictures. Photos really capture people's attention and improve retention. And people hear information, they're likely to remember only about 10% of that information in 3 days later. But if a relevant image is paired with that same information, 65% of them retain that information 3 days later. And so you can add photos and videos to your Google My Business listing, and it's really super easy to do that. And the internet, used to just be about text. Now images and videos are really, really taking over. Video increases engagement. By 2019, more than 80% of all internet traffic is going to be about video. And many people are scared with video. They think that they have to have a fancy studio and that they have to have professional lighting, but you don't. Adding photos of your business inside your business, pictures of your employees, pictures of your products, it really humanizes your brand and lets customers get behind the scenes. And the other thing is, many people don't realize that consumers and your customers can post videos and images on your Google My Business listing as well. So that's something to keep in mind as well. So you can have consumers posting videos and images. So encourage them to do that. So there are many, many benefits to posting videos, marketing in general. Google allows for a 30-second video to be uploaded to your Google My Business listing. And again, your customers can upload videos too. So with regard to specifications, you want to have up to 30 seconds long. The file size needs to be no bigger than 100 megabytes, and the resolution you want to be around 720 pixels or higher. Short videos work. A lot of people say, well, what can I say in 30 seconds? But videos under 5 minutes in length account for 55% of total video consumption time on smartphones. And the cool thing is Google My Business videos auto-play on mobile devices. And so that's really cool. So if someone's searching on a smartphone, your video that you uploaded will auto-play. And as a bonus, if you upload 2 or more videos on your Google My Business listing, you'll get a video sub-tab that shows up on mobile devices. And so that's an extra bonus. One thing, too, is that people say, well, if there's no sound, that's an issue. Studies have shown with regard to Facebook that as much as 85% of Facebook videos are viewed with the sound off. The booking button. So depending on the type of business, so if you have if you own a massage studio or a therapeutic studio where you may do nails or chiropractic services or whatever, if you are partnered with a scheduling system that Google is partnered with, people can schedule directly from your Google My Business listing. And that actually streamlines and makes it super easy for people to make appointments with you and schedule directly with you. So if you're not sure whether or not your scheduling system, you may be using a scheduling system through a third-party venue, you can just go ahead and do a search for booking button feature, Google My Business, and look for partners, and you will see a list of the partners that are available. And if that feature is available to you, you will see that show up in your Google My Business dashboard. Messaging. How many of you knew that you could actually receive messages from potential customers? And this is a great way for you to connect directly with people who are interested in what you have to offer. And so basically you can go into messaging and you can enter your contact information and set it up so that people will receive an automated message. So for instance, in my case, I say, hey, thank you for your interest in our digital marketing services. We'll get back with you shortly. Now, if you don't want text messages sent to your personal phone number, you can download on your Google My Business app. You can download Google's Allo app. It's ALLO. And when you set up your Allo account, be sure to use the same phone number that's connected to your Google My Business account. And that way when someone messages you, the messages are going to be sent to your Allo app instead of appearing alongside your personal text messages. But this is a great way for you to communicate directly with your consumers. And again, Google's tracking all of this engagement with your customers. So questions and answers. This is really a cool feature that a lot of businesses are really missing the boat on. Question and answers is a feature that basically allows anybody to ask a question of your business. Now, the disadvantage is it also allows anybody to answer those questions. So, according to Get 5 Stars, which is run by Mike Blumenthal, who is an SEO rock star, by the way, 25% of locations on Google Maps have questions, and many of those questions are still probably unanswered. Now, people are going to ask these questions because they want to know information beforehand in a lot of cases. And again, these are crowdsourced questions and answers for local businesses. And they're asked and answered through a business's knowledge panel. And again, that's the box that appears on the right-hand side. So crowdsourcing is nothing new. I mean, Amazon first did it when they asked people to leave book reviews. But Google's really taking crowdsourcing to the next level in many ways, I should say. And the Q&A is really one of them. Now, the one thing you really want to make sure is that you receive notifications when a question has been asked. Now, there's lots of people that have been reported saying that they are not receiving these notifications. So it's really, really best if you log into your Google My Business account or do a search for your business name, look at the knowledge panel, and see if any questions were asked about your business. I'll give you an example, for instance. There is a local theater in the area, and they had about 48 unanswered questions. And some of those questions were answered, but they were answered by random people. So, for instance, one of the questions was, what movies are playing this weekend? And one answer was, look it up. Okay, this was not answered by the movie theater. It was answered by some random person. And that looks embarrassing for the business. So what I encourage businesses to do is to proactively create a frequently asked questions list on your Google My Business listing. And so that way you can answer those frequently asked questions beforehand. And so you can create a question and then answer it. And the other thing is Google has said that upvoting your questions can make them more visible. So if someone has a particularly important question that you think would be valuable to other people, you can go ahead and upvote it by clicking on the little thumbs up sign next to that question, and that can bump that question up towards the top of the questions list, and that will, hopefully make it appear higher in the list. So the thing that I can't stress enough is make sure that you're checking those Q&As, because chances are there are questions out there being asked of you that if they go unanswered, it looks bad as a business, and if it goes answered in the wrong way, it makes it look even worse. So go ahead and check your Q&As frequently. And remember, anybody can answer these questions, even your competitors. So the next thing is Google My Business online reviews. Now, everyone knows that reviews are important. If you've done any shopping, you've probably been online looking at product reviews or business reviews. Here are some stats from Bright Local. Bright Local does a consumer review survey every year. So if you just do a search for Bright Local 2018 Local Consumer Review Survey, the stats are compelling. People pay attention to reviews. And Google makes it very easy for people to leave reviews, and it makes it very easy for you to respond to reviews. So unlike Yelp, which vehemently discourages business owners to ask their customers for reviews, so don't do it, don't ask for Yelp reviews, Google encourages business owners to ethically ask their customers questions. So what I always tell people is respond to all reviews, even the negative ones, and then always like the reviews people leave for your business. Again, liking them, you can see the arrow pointing on the left-hand side of your screen. Liking those reviews is just a good thing. Again, it helps with, showing Google that there's engagement. Whatever you do, do not bribe customers for reviews. Do not say, if you leave a review for us, we'll give you a free car wash or we'll give you a free meal. Don't ever bribe. There are also new policies that Google has put in place with regard to conflict of interest, which has made many business owners happy. Ex-employees can no longer leave reviews, and that has made business owners thrilled because a lot of ex-employees or disgruntled employees have left negative reviews for them. And so there's new guidelines with that. And again, Google has guidelines for everything, so be sure and keep up with that. So what to do if someone leaves a fake review? First of all, you want to make sure that it's truly a fake review and not just a review that you don't like. If they're a review that's negative and you just don't agree with it, Google's probably not going to remove it. You want to read Google's review policies to see if the reviews truly violate Google's policies. And if the review does violate it and it's truly a fake review, politely respond to the reviewer first. And then there are other things you can do, like flag and report the fake review. To do that, the best way is to log into your Google My Business dashboard and flag it that way. And that will get you an email directly from Google saying, hey, we've received this, and we'll go ahead and look into it. But just keep in mind that Google rarely removes reviews unless they clearly violate their review terms and conditions. And you need to prove your case, and even then the reviews may not be removed. So what do you do if you have issues with your Google My Business listing? Google has made it available for you to reach out to their support team through Facebook and through Twitter. I found that Twitter is probably the fastest way to reach out to them. Their response rate is pretty high and pretty fast, so recommend doing that. And then you can also get support from the Google My Business forum. And again, don't bother writing down this long URL. You'll get access to it. But this forum is basically for business owners who have questions about Google My Business listings in general. So let's say you have a fake review and you're trying to get it removed. Go to the support, give the information, as much detailed information as possible. And there are people known as Google top contributors that if you do have a valid case and you aren't getting a response from Google, sometimes those people will actually step in and help you. It's also a great resource for information about guidelines and rules. Google will notify you of new changes that are being made, so it's a great resource for you to go and visit. And people will freely answer questions that you have there. So it's definitely a thing you should bookmark as a business owner. Okay? Moving right along because we're running out of time, we're going to talk about other online business directories. So you want to check or claim the top 50-plus online directories and make sure that the information is accurate and consistent. So there are also niche directories that you should look into depending on your industry. So, for instance, if you're a lawyer, there are niche directories like Outdo that is specifically for attorneys. If you own an auto dealership, there are niche directories for just auto dealers. So be sure and look into those as well. And again, Bright Local has, they call them citations. They're also known as citations. They have a list of niche citations. So if you do a search for Bright Local niche citation list, you'll be able to easily find a list of those niche citations based on categories. Now, people often ask me, why do I need to claim locality or Merchant Circle? Nobody goes to Merchant Circle or Locality or Yellow Pages to do a search. They go to Google. Sherry, why do I need to do this? The reason you need to do this is because Google finds these online directories and citation sites very valuable, and as you can see, they show up in top ranking results when a search is done. So in this case, when you do a search for hair salons in Iowa City, the top 4 search results are online directories. They're Yelp and Locality. And so if your business is not listed correctly on these online directories and people click on that link, you're not going to be found. So here are some of the top general online business directories. And again, you'll be provided with this so you can go through and check them and make sure that your information is correct. Now, when I say correct, that's very important because 40% of consumers would give up looking for a local business that they couldn't find because the address was wrong online. And this is according to a local citations trust report that Bright Local recently did. Now, this all goes back to your NAP, the business's name, address, and phone number. Your company's name, address, and phone number should be exactly the same on as many of the directories as possible. And again, I always defer back to how Google has your name, address, and phone number listed. First of all, if you're a local business, which all of you have to be in order to claim a Google My Business listing and these local directories, use a local area code. Do not use an 800 number or toll-free number as your phone number. You should use a local area code. The other thing is Google sees these different addresses or these different street addresses as different addresses. So Blair's Ferry RD period to Google is different than Blair's Ferry Road spelled out. The same thing with First Street versus First spelled out street. So if you have inconsistencies in your online directories, what happens is it confuses the search engines, and they're not sure if the information on one directory is correct or if the other directory is correct. And so they may opt not to show your listing because there's too much misinformation out there. So what I tell people to do is write down your name, address, and phone number, how it's going to appear on all your online directories. Also put it on your Contact Us page on your website as well as in the footer of all pages on your website as well, and make sure that it's consistent. And here you can see a report that I ran that shows just some inconsistencies based on a business. So you can see how the business's name is different. In some cases, in this case, it has Waller Marshall and then the business name. You can see that in one case, it just has 103 as a suite number. It doesn't have pound 103. You can see in another instance, it has STE for the suite. In one instance, they have the toll-free number as the phone number. And in some instances, they're just not being found. And so these are the types of inconsistencies you need to look for when you are going onto these 50-plus online directories and ensuring that your information, your name, address, and phone number is correct and consistent across the board. So to our free offer. So again, because your online digital presence encompasses so many different things, if you go to youronlinereport.com, don't enter www, just go into your browser and type in youronlinereport.com. You'll be asked to enter your business name and I believe your phone number, your business phone number, so preferably your local phone number. You'll be given a report that's going to show how you rank in the local pack. It's also going to show you how you appear on some of the online directories that are the top online directories. This report is also going to give you information about reviews that may be left about your business. And so this will give you a good overview over your online digital health in general. So go ahead and take advantage of running this free report, and it will give you some overall grades and how you can go ahead and improve your online digital marketing presence, okay? So that concludes my portion of it, and I think we're going to be going into Q&A. But in case you want to reach out to me, here's my contact information. You can follow me on Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook. My Twitter handle is @SherryBonelli. And so with that, if there are any questions, Alexa, I'm going to turn it back over to you.
Okay, Sherry, thank you so much. And I just wanted to ask you, since we are about 4 minutes to the close of the hour,
I'm so sorry.
Would it be okay with you? That's okay. That's okay. Would it be okay with you to go over time a little bit?
Absolutely, absolutely. I'll be honest.